So Demetrius Andrade has been ordered by the WBO to face Billy Joe Saunders. That's right, Billy Joe has been made Demetrius Andrade's mandatory. And this was not unexpected. Eddie Hearn suggested that this could happen very shortly after Billy Joe got stripped and Andrade won the vacant belt against Katandokwa. Perhaps Eddie Hearn had inside knowledge. I mean, you've got Frank Warren, Billy Joe's promoter, who's got a very good relationship with the WBO going back several decades. But now Eddie Hearn, the new kid on the block, has seemingly a good relationship with the WBO as well because of the way the situation has panned out. So the WBO appears to be trying to appease both parties here. A lot of people are complaining that Billy Joe hasn't received a sufficient ban or suspension after his failed PED test, and they're saying it makes a mockery of the whole situation. It makes a mockery of drug testing in boxing when the penalties are so, so mild. But anyway, be that as it may, it's a fight that I still like. It's a fight which I think either man could win. It wouldn't shock me if either man did win, but I will be picking Demetrius Andrade. I did a live stream last night and I expressed my views on this fight then. So I'm just reiterating what I said there in a more concise fashion. So yeah, I think Andrade is just as slick as Billy Joe, but he's taller. He's got longer arms. He's been keeping himself in better shape. He's active now. He's just coming off a decision win over Akavov, a guy who Billy Joe struggled badly with. Oh, yes, he did. Billy Joe struggled so badly with Akavov that a lot of people, British people, mind you, felt like Billy Joe actually lost the fight. I remember it at the time. Go to my YouTube channel page and look at my post-fight video for Billy Joe versus Akavov, and you will see a lot of people saying that they thought Billy Joe lost. Now, I'm assuming that video is still up. It might not be because, in, when was it, early 2018, late 2017, YouTube were going crazy when it came to flagging videos and demonetizing this, there, and the other. So I did actually delete quite a few videos. But if that video's still up, you'll hear me saying, or you'll see in the comment section, a lot of people saying Billy Joe lost, etc. So yeah, he struggled badly with Akavov. He said he wasn't in shape and all that kind of business. But that's one of the issues, isn't it, with Billy Joe? I was talking to, wasn't talking to, but I saw a comment from one of Billy Joe's hardcore fans, who is also a member of my boxing group. Shout out to Ben. All right, his name's Ben. And he was saying, Andrade is not the naturally bigger man than Billy Joe. He may be taller, but Billy Joe's a lot stockier. Well, what you call stocky, I call fat. Billy Joe can make 154. His trainer Dominic Ingle said he can make 154. I think Billy Joe has even said it. Since hooking up with Dominic Ingle and being on a proper diet, he has been saying he can make 154. He's not a particularly big middleweight at all. Now, Andrade is coming up from 154, but Andrade's been in shape his whole life. When have you ever seen with Andrade with an ounce of fat on him? You haven't. So I'm saying Andrade, and look, Billy Joe, for his last fight against Charles Adamu, weighed 178. Have you seen Andrade when he weighs 178? Once again, he ain't got an ounce of fat on him. When Billy Joe weighs 178, he looks like a tub of lard. No disrespect, but that's what he looks like, a tub of lard when he's 178. Andrade at 178 looks in shape. So I'm saying Andrade is the bigger guy. He's got longer arms. He's just as slick. In terms of the speed, they're both fast. Andrade is a bit more flashy than Billy Joe. He'll take a few more risks here and there. But yeah, I'm just going with Andrade to win the fight on points. I think he'll be comfortable fighting in the United States. He'll be comfortable with the split. It will be something like 80-20 or 70-30 in Andrade's favor. He's coming off, 2 fights in relatively quick succession. He's on 2 fights in 2 months? That was on the 10th, right? October, November, December. So, just short of 3 months, he's had 2 fights. So he's getting his sharpness back. And by the time he fights Billy Joe, whenever they actually square off in the ring, I mean, they've got, I imagine, like 30 days to negotiate. Where is it here? It will say somewhere how many days they've got to negotiate. Anyway. Okay, by February, 30 days from January 22nd. That's right. So, and after that, it will go to a purse bid. All right. So, yeah, there it is. Billy Joe versus Demetrius Andrade. That'll be Andrade's next fight. I got Andrade on points, but it's a good fight. It's a competitive fight. I don't expect it to be easy for Andrade at all. I think Billy Joe, he is good, but I believe he's also a little overrated by some of his fans. They jump up and down about the David Lemieux performance, but David Lemieux can't box. David Lemieux's a good puncher, but he can't box. It's very different outboxing somebody like David Lemieux and outboxing somebody like Demetrius Andrade. And again, I've heard people say it'll be just like the Willie Monroe Jr. fight. I think it'll be nothing like that fight. Willie Monroe doesn't have the mental toughness to make it at the top level in boxing. If you think that Willie Monroe is on the same level mentally as a Demetrius Andrade, you're smoking some strong stuff. Willie Monroe lost the fight before he even got in the ring. Willie Monroe looked close to tears at some points in the pre-fight build-up with Billy Joe. He was intimidated. And he's always been mentally fragile, Willie Monroe. I talked about this before the Saunders fight. So, Andrade, totally different animal to Willie Monroe, taller than Monroe, bigger, stronger, more talented, a hell of a lot mentally stronger. Andrade, in terms of his mental strength, he's up there with the Danny Jacobs and the Golovkins and, all them kind of people. He's elite level in terms of his mentality. He was elite level as an amateur, and as a professional, he's had his trials and tribulations dealing with promoters and what have you. And he's kind of been in the wilderness for a few years. But now at the age of 30, he's with Eddie Hearn, he's with DAZN, and he's happy. And there's nothing more dangerous than a happy fighter. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Billy Joe, struggled with Akovov, beat an intimidated Monroe, who is not really that good anyway. Willie Monroe is not as good as Andrade, people. I was so glad when Charlo didn't fight Monroe because Monroe failed a PED test. I was so glad because I expected that to be a bit of not a mismatch, but not much of a contest. I was far happier when, oh God, what's the guy called? I forget the guy who fought Charlo now. The Russian southpaw who was a very, very good amateur. His name has escaped me for some reason off the top of my head. But yeah, he was good. He was good. In fact, I'll be able to find his name by going through here because he fought Andy Lee, didn't he? Andy Lee stopped him. Korobov. There you go. Yeah, I was so glad when Monroe lost his opportunity to fight Charlo and Korobov stepped in instead because Korobov is way better than Monroe. Like, not even close. Way better. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this fight being announced. And, just look at the size difference there, people. You trying to tell me that Billy Joe is bigger than this man? Bro, Billy Joe is really a light middleweight who doesn't have the discipline to get down there. Demetrius Andrade is like a big middleweight / small super middleweight who's been getting down to light middle. That's what Andrade is. And I expect that to show in the fight. Anyway, let me know, people. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.